Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Shows Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, and I want to talk about part one of the season Sweet 16 reunion for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I definitely want to talk about how, in my opinion, Drew has arrived. And Andy Cohen, he definitely favors Porsha and Phaedra. They could sense it too, they know it as well. And Angela's ice cold tea. It was not piping hot, it was ice cold. Okay, so before we get into the details, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. So I want to, briefly talk about the tension between Porsha and Shamiya. The tension was definitely there. And what is pretty interesting is that, I'm a viewer of the show. It's not like I was physically in the room where I could try and almost physically feel their energies. But you could tell the tension from the facial expressions, especially on Shamia's end, the looking into the distance, the rolling of the eyes. And honestly, I think that Porsha and Shamiya know each other very well, having been friends since teenagers, and they're both in their 40s now, early 40s. So they know each other well. And in my opinion, I think Porsha knows that it doesn't take much for Shamiya to feel a little jealous if she sees her bonding with another woman or complimenting another woman. And I do think that that was something that Britt Eady picked up on as well. And I think that was some incentive for Britt Eady to become cool with Porsha. And she made sure to tell Porsha some things that Shamiya allegedly said so that it would get back to Shamiya and Shamiya would know that Britt and Porsha were having conversation. Because I think when Porsha was like complimenting Drew on her music, I think that Shamiya somehow felt left out because she has new music as well. And I think that it made her a little jealous inside. It more of an innocent jealous. Like I think Shamiya, that people pleaser in her may make her a little jealous when the folks that she's trying to please, like a Porsha, is trying to get along with someone else. That's just my opinion. But and I could really feel that on Shamia's end. And it's a shame that they're at odds because not only have they been friends long, but Shamiya and Porsha, they have actually forged a friendship even while their mothers are estranged. They were once friends and they fell out over Shamia's mother thinking this is a great business acquisition. The building, the commercial daycare foreclosed. Let me buy it at the foreclosed price. It was once Miss Diane's property, Porsha mom's property. That's why they fell out. And yet, and still, Porsha and Shamiya remain friends. So it's a shame that, they are at odds right now. Hopefully they can make amends. We'll have to see. Now, Drew, in my opinion, she had funny, clever comebacks. I've always felt like both the longer time cast members as well as production, they do not respect Drew. And I love Candy and I really enjoy Kenya. As the time goes on, I like Kenya more and more. Ever since she became a mom to Brooklyn, since she had Brooklyn, I started liking Kenya. She seemed more a human to me, and I just saw the humanity in her once she became a mother. So I feel like those longer time cast members, the Sherrays, the Candies, the Kenyas, they don't really respect Drew. They seem to approach her like she's a joke. And I'll just never forget when Candy interviewed Drew on her YouTube channel, a Speak On It episode. Candy told her, like, just when you first joined the show, you kind of dress like Punky Brewster. And Drew is a very humble person. And Drew just kind of took it. She did not show that she was offended, and the conversation continued to go on. But I feel like people take Drew's kindness for weakness. And I also think that that extends to the production. I think that the longer term cast members on the show take her kindness for weakness, and so does production. because it is just so asinine to me that Drew was seated all the way on the end of the sofa, but Shamiya was sitting the closest to Andy and trying to find a way to chime in, only for Porsha to like flip it on her when she tried to stand up for Porsha in regards to the whole Porsha, Drew, and Dennis triangle, if you will. Porsha wanted it to be a triangle for a storyline, and then Porsha flipped on her. We're going to listen to the audio in just a moment. But Drew saying to Porsha, Simon says, you don't have a storyline. I thought that was so cute. I thought that was so cute and clever. Even if it was pre-written, that's totally fine. You know, Drew has arrived, in my opinion. And I don't think there's anything wrong with writing out some of the things that you want to say, especially for a reunion, because they're filming all day. It's like working a full-time job, an 8-hour day, and they stop for lunch and they're going over the entire season. So there could be something in particular that you want to say. Season 12 had the virtual reunion because we were in the middle of Carnival 19, and because they were all on their laptops, Eva Marcille, she was able to see Nene's notebook. She was like, is that your notebook, Nene? Did you write down your reads? And Nene was like, yes, I did. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you don't want to forget, because they're covering the entire season. That's a lot of material, a lot of conversations, a lot of confessionals to react to. So even if she wrote that ahead of time, Simon says you don't have a storyline, that's cool because it was very cute and nostalgic for any of us who've ever played Simon Says. It made me think of Simon Says, Mr. Fox, what time is it? All of that. So I thought it was great. And also, Drew stood on business, admitting that she did say Porsha's return to the show is a flop. And when Drew spoke on Britt texting her, saying allegedly that she may sue Drew, Drew said it plainly and calmly, but no fear. And so I really believe that Drew gained strength from her, you know, working on divorcing Ralph. I know that they're still physically living under the same roof, but I think that her working on that dissolution of the marriage, it somehow gave her strength. And I'm just so happy for her that she has found her voice. Her throat chakra is activated. But let's go ahead and listen to, you know, Andy. I think Andy thought that she was going to try and backtrack when he says, you know, do you stand by what you said? And she's going to say, yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look, or take a listen, I should say, because NBC, Universal, Bravo, they don't want you playing their video. So we're going to listen to the audio.
Maxine from Boulder, Colorado said, Drew, you said on a recent podcast that Porsha's return was a flop and a try-hard.
Porsha was brought back to deliver a lifestyle that she could not deliver. It felt very flat. It was giving flop.
Do you stand by that?
Oh, yeah. I stand on that because, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can talk about with Porsha's life, but yet she came on here to attack me the entire season.
I mean, she should be worried about who flipping and flopping in that basement with Ralph. Don't worry about me.
Simon says you had no storyline.
Dennis is a part of my storyline. He is my family. And you put yourself in the middle of the storyline. So I don't know.
You knew that you filmed with Dennis and that she felt a certain way about it. Why continue filming with him?
Where the cameras catch me, they catch me. If they catch me in the studio, great. Dennis and I weren't ever getting together to diminish you, disrespect you. So that was not true.
Did you really think Drew was sleeping with Dennis for beats?
Oh, no.
I thought Dennis showed you a text.
No, he showed me the text. He did.
What did it say?
It was the same text I showed to Ralph.
Let's see, because Ralph told me what the text said. And it didn't say, y'all got two different stories.
I don't have the text.
What did it say?
How convenient.
I can't remember what she had said right before.
Okay.
But his message stood out, which was, I'm not going to blank you. I want my money for the studio. Right? And so then it was so
Was
funny.
the sense that she was offering to blank him
That
in
was the
exchange?
sense.
This is the business that I operate in, so there's no mistaking. Like, this wasn't just a homie hookup. We actually conducted real business. Studio time is not free, ever.
Yeah, that's what he said. It wasn't free.
To put yourself in that situation where that could even come up just feels like a lot of work and almost distracting from what you're trying to do with your music.
Right. Porsha knew Dennis and I were working together. She was
I did
supportive
not,
of that.
Drew. That's
You
what
did,
you're not
because
hearing.
we talked after my birthday party, and you were like, "Yes."
She told me she didn't know.
Girl, go sit on Porsha lap, girl. Just go in there. I don't even know why you interjecting.
Okay, hold on. Can I get in here? Can I get in here? You want to say
Yes,
something?
we never had beef prior, but when you came to my house, I simply asked, "Are you dating Dennis?" Right? All y'all came back and said that I said, "Are you effing Dennis?" Then when I met with you two at the gym, it was like, rah, rah.
I think I was a little shocked that you asked the question for Porsha.
I asked her for me.
You're being Porsha's assistant.
You're coming in hot.
I think I had an issue with you asking her the question because Porsha told you to leave it alone. She told you
Well,
to
she
leave
said
it
she
alone.
can speak for herself. But Porsha doesn't tell
Well,
me.
I didn't want the question asked. I remember you saying, "I'm just gonna ask her, is she f***ing Dennis? Is Dennis pulling that go naked hair?" And I remember saying to you, "Please don't bring up her f***ing him."
No, you
pulling
didn't.
the go
No, you
naked hair.
didn't.
We were
No,
in the
ma'am.
car,
No, ma'am. We're not gonna do
leaving
this.
your house, since you want to almost act like I'm lying. I said it to you because I said at the end of the day, I want to keep the focus on the filming.
Porsha, at the time, they weren't even attempting to film together. That didn't happen till later on.
There had been
What are you talking about?
Thank you. I never talked about
Thank you.
filming with
Exactly.
Dennis.
So
He
that's what I'm
actually
saying. My
told
question
me
was innocent.
he didn't want to film on
Now
the
we're
show.
just gonna
And
lie.
I have
Okay.
my text messages.
All right, I'm moving on.
Right.
I'm going to move on. Of all of the producers in Atlanta, why choose Dennis? I guess you said damn good music. We didn't realize.
Well, I
he
said
was
damn
a-
good music because of her album. Her album is
Yeah.
really,
Thank
really
you.
good.
I received that. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I would never come down on your brand or who you are or your talents the way you did just now at Breakfast Club.
Girl, don't play victim.
You talked about
You
my
dragging
hair
me this whole
company
season
and
about my
talked about
music.
you didn't like the hair
Let's
just
not do
because of
that.
this issue.
It's
That's
interesting that
low
you want to
once
poke the
again.
bear and then
That's
you get
low
mad
once again.
when I have a reaction.
Chadwick from Ohio said, Porsha, now that you've seen the season, do you think you owe Drew an apology for the way you treated her? From what we saw on the show, the relationship between her and Dennis was all business.
This one.
All
This one, you
Oh my God.
Jesus
about.
Oh
my God. Thank
you, Lord. 17 episodes later. So, are we not in our light?
Right. Angle.
Hold on.
There you go. Okay.
I genuinely wanted to come today. One of the main things I wanted to do was to, number one, apologize for meeting with Ralph.
Did you do it to be petty?
Of course.
Yeah.
But watching the season back, even though at the time I felt justified,
You still didn't feel good
I
about it.
still did not feel good about it, Drew. And I cared about you. I really did. And so today I definitely knew I wanted to apologize for that, because no matter how upset we are with this situation, it still could have been talked through. I just want to tell you, woman to woman who's also going through a divorce, it wasn't right. And I apologize for that.
I appreciate that because, my first season, when I had these tough, difficult times on this show, like, you were the person I called. So for you to come back and this to be the space we're in, my prayer was that we can work through it, because I wanted this to be negative.
I swear to you, I was in fight mode.
Same.
And every time I saw you, I was triggered. But I can say right here now, as I am healing, I'm still healing,
Same.
that it wasn't right.
I see you.
I love this.
I
I love
love
it.
it.
That's
I
great.
feel it.
That's great. Maxine from Boulder.
Okay, so I wanted to play that clip to show, Drew standing up for herself. Simon says, you don't have a storyline. And when Porsha said, well, I don't have the text, she was like, oh, how convenient. And we all know that when it got silent, that was Porsha getting up to give Drew a hug. I do think that once Simon put a major dent in Porsha's storyline because she could not show that mansion, I think that she was a little annoyed that Drew's storyline was the father of her kid producing her music. But I don't know why Porsha had to look at that as Drew infringing upon her baby daddy. Drew was recording music and Dennis wanted to work with her. He pitched his business plan to her and she accepted. Dennis wanted to work with Drew just as much as Drew wanted to work with Dennis. But Andy Cohen asked Drew, out of all the producers in Atlanta, why would you work with Dennis? And Porsha just sat there and let him let him do that when Dennis approached her. So I feel like clearly Andy favored Porsha and Simon, Porsha and Phaedra throughout the reunion. He's even going to favor Phaedra when Angela brings up the alleged connection between her and Marcus. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. I do want to say, I want you all to talk about in the comments, what did you think about the whole idea of Shamiya saying that she set Porsha up with Simon? Andy was helping Porsha try to make Shamiya look like she set Porsha up with a married man. Production played footage of Shamiya saying, I was there for their relationship. She didn't mean that in the literal sense. She meant it figuratively. Like, I saw their relationship bloom. I saw it grow. I saw him courting Porsha and them getting to know each other. She's not saying she literally saw them, flirting with each other or about to get it on. But that's how that was presented. Even more, when Porsha was asked at the reunion, did Shamiya set them up? She hesitated. And then Simon or Andy was like, she hesitated. And it almost seemed like Phaedra, Porsha, and Andy, they went to Starbucks or something before the reunion. They decided on some things that they were going to do. Because he totally played everything up to her favor. And he was already ready to cast some doubt in the things that Shamiya and Angela were saying. So I don't think that Porsha was played by Simon. I think that she didn't want him anymore and was concerned that he seriously get deported and filed for divorce. And she really, really came out on top. Now, Angela and Phaedra. So Angela accused Phaedra of sending Marcus to the waffle cook-off and said that Phaedra had a connection to Marcus because his aunt went to school with Phaedra's brother. All Angela proved was that it's a small world. It's a small world, Angela. And they're still in the same state. It's not like they all moved to a different state and, voila, Phaedra bumps into a guy whose aunt went to school with her brother. They're still in Georgia. And, Angela quoted Phaedra saying there's only, 3 middle schools and 2 high schools in Athens. And some people felt like Angela actually came off not like she was reading Phaedra or having this famous moment for all the blogs to comment on, but she came off just like a fan of the show. And you remember when Carlos King interviewed Kenya Moore, she said that when production cast the fans of the show, that's when it's a disaster because they're just fans of the show. And then when they get in the heat of the moment, they can't keep up. I'm not saying that that's Angela Oakley because that's not Angela Oakley. She can keep up. But that was something that, always stayed in the back of my mind when Kenya said when a fan is on the show as part of the cast, it's usually a disaster. Now, Angela thought that she could indirectly reference season 9, saying that Phaedra has a pattern for lying. And she even said Porsha supporting Phaedra was alarming, okay, because of the past. So I thought that was interesting. Angela was definitely well prepared. I would say her preparation was 2.0. It wasn't just about writing down some reads and rehearsing them, memorizing them. Like as Simon says, you have no storyline. She really thought about what she was going to say, when she was going to say it. She was prepared for Porsha to back up Phaedra when Porsha felt like the whole thing was staged because of someone named Junebug, and she just thought it would, no one knew this Marcus guy. So as soon as she chimed in, Porsha wasn't even shouting it from the mountaintops. It was kind of inaudible. And Angela said, you know what, Porsha, what I think is so alarming about you is that you back Phaedra after everything that you went through with her, talking about season 9 when they lied on Candy. Now, while I do agree to an extent with Angela about Phaedra and Porsha's background on the show in terms of season 9, at what point do we say we cannot keep judging them for the same indiscretion that was done some years ago now, especially when it happened to Candy, who is not on the show right now? She is not a part of the cast. And when she does interviews and people ask her about her singing career, her songwriting career, her acting career, her producing Broadway plays, and her reality TV career, she doesn't even dwell on season 9 and what they put her through. So at what point do us, the viewers and cast members like Angela Oakley, at what point do we kind of take that scarlet letter off of Porsha and Phaedra? Or does that scarlet letter remain? What do you all think? Please let me know in the comment section. And let me know overall, what did you think about part 1 of the reunion for the Real Housewives of Atlanta season Sweet 16? I thank you all so much for checking out this video. I hope that you have a wonderful Wednesday tomorrow. Do what you have to do to prepare yourselves to have a smooth morning. Try not to snooze your alarm so that you do not have to rush. And my chiropractor says, in addition to doing lots of walking, lots of exercise, period, helps you live. He says to eat some raw food every day, whether that is like fruit. I am great about eating fruit. Like today I had a banana, an orange, and of course I made a yogurt parfait with some blueberries and granola. But also what I did on Sunday when I went grocery shopping, I bought a bag of the organic cucumbers, the mini cucumbers. So every day while working, I'll just grab one of those and eat that raw food. And you'll be so proud of yourself that you did, and it's helping your body as well. And yeah, I hope you have an awesome day, and I will talk with you all soon. Bye.